If you're interested in supporting this work, you can support me on Patreon, and that will help me make more videos and more podcasts for you in the future. Click the link down below on Patreon, or I'll put the link up here in the corner to Patreon, so you can go there and become a Patreon supporter.
Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca. One stumbling block that I've seen people struggle with is the ability to receive. Now, I'm not talking about that person who is selfish, that takes all the time and never gives back or does anything for anyone. But what I'm talking about is a lot of times people want to be independent, so much so that they feel that they cannot receive from others or receive love or attention or receive help in any way, shape, or form. And therefore they get stuck in the I. The I that says, I can do it myself. I am separate. I will be by myself and I will do things by myself. Now, there's nothing wrong with being independent if your joy and your expression is in that. But if you are locking yourself into a prison of loneliness and self, which is the small letter S, not the capital letter S, self, the little self, the ego, and saying, I want to be independent and self-sufficient. I want to never have to have relationship with anyone or anything. This can be a very big stumbling block in the way between you and enlightenment. Because receiving is a large part of this path. Receiving all of your internal experiences. Pranayama is about receiving the air so that you can exhale it, right? You inhale and then you exhale. But it starts with receiving. So sometimes people start the spiritual journey and they have a lot of suffering, which is normal. That's why many of us go on the spiritual journey. We realize this human condition is quite painful sometimes. Lots of stuff goes on that's beyond our control, that is very frustrating. But when you learn that who you truly are is free from the suffering, then you stop trying to do a bunch of things to micromanage the ego. The ego becomes a playground. It becomes a way of self-expression, but not something you're trying to micromanage quite so strongly. You're not looking for your pleasure in the ego. The ego is more like a trumpet that you play. You know, you're the air. You just fly through the trumpet once in a while and different sounds come out. Sometimes the sounds are nice, sometimes the sounds are not so nice, but it's still an instrument, right? But you're not spending your entire life just trying to shine that instrument, because who you are is the wind. You are that thing or that substance or that lack of substance that moves through the instrument. So a large part of this path is receiving, because who you think you are is the instrument, but an instrument cannot play music if it does not receive air. A horn-based instrument, okay? Let's just stick with that. We're not talking about a guitar right now. The guitar is another thing, but the horns have to receive air. You have to move air through there in order for the beautiful sounds to come out. So it is also the same with this spiritual journey. I cannot tell you how many times I have tried to give to people who had a whole bunch of stuff come up that was a blockage between them and receiving. A whole bunch of defense mechanisms come up with the ego, a whole bunch of ideas and conditions, things that prevent them from receiving anything. So if you're supposed to receive all that you are in this enlightenment journey and realize that you are everything, how can the journey be about rejection? How can it be about rejecting the love that wishes to come towards you? I'm not even talking about rejecting the things that are not so pleasant. Because it's understandable when you don't want to receive those things, as much as it is also a part of the spiritual path. But there are beautiful, loving moments that come towards you, and just receive them. It's okay. You don't have to feel guilty about it. If you need to tell yourself a story that by receiving this, I will pay it forward to others, well, then go ahead and do that if you wish. But receiving is part of this process. And it's okay to receive. At some point you will receive even more aspects of yourself. Sometimes the forms of love that come back to you come in human form, and sometimes they come in abstract spiritual form. Perhaps they come in the form of spiritual experiences. Absolute moments of joy or bliss. Or in a good conversation with a friend and lots of laughter and comfort in some way. Receive these things. It is also okay to receive these things. Because if you are rejecting anything that is in the form of self-nourishment, you are acting from a place of suffering. You are acting from a place of guilt, from a place of obligation, from a place of possible ancestral illusions that have been passed on to you, where you are not supposed to be worthy of something, some form of love in how it comes back to you. The only reason why I can sit here and speak to you about this is that I have received a lot in order to be able to do what I do now. It is only through receiving can you truly give. The more of you that you receive, the more there is this natural movement of you externally. You start to move outwards and help or add yourself in whatever raw form you do. And some people like it, some people don't, but there is a service in that. There is a sharing of you, a sharing of your essence. Not everyone will get it. But those that do will receive a massive blessing from it. Because they are also on their receiving journey. So dare to receive from the Lakshmi of the universe, from the divine feminine that is around you at all times, that sometimes acts through circumstance or people, or through just an internal beautiful experience that emerges within you. And then share it with others if you wish. I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now.